reclaim, renew, rejoice. Hey y'all, it's Renegayde, and let's spill some reality on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18. On this episode, it's a new year, meaning it's time for the season premiere of Drag Race, and even in the darkest, most trying times, you can't keep a good queen down. But for some of these queens, this opening design challenge is definitely threatened to dull their sparkle before the season even begins. But before we even get into it, let me introduce my co-host, and he somehow manages to wear less than me, even though he has way more to cover. It's QuackrrJack!
Hi, how's it going? Can't believe we had a design challenge to start the premiere. It's the best thing ever, except for the fact that half the girls don't know how to make anything, but we'll get into that.
I mean, it was kind of nice to have, like, a flashback to, like, the old days, right? It was kind of nice. And I will say, even though it might have not been, like, the greatest design challenge ever, right? Like, I did kind of enjoy the fact that we did get to see a little bit of sparkle from our Season 18 queens, right? And I do have to say, even though, again, this was a pretty bad design challenge, I'm excited for what these queens kind of have in store. Overall, Jack, do you think the season could be a diamond in the rough, or do you think we should just turn out the lights now and go home?
I think it could be a diamond in the rough. I think the first part was rough. I think, Briar had said it on her live that it was going to be a rough design challenge or whatever, and she was right, but I'm going to hope that this was like first day jitters, and I'm going to give everyone hopefully they'll figure something out as the season goes on, because maybe, after we were told there were 3 designers early on, I was like, oh, so we're going to get some shit, and then I was like, okay.
Well, we got shit. We definitely got some shit.
Yeah, we got shit. Yeah, but we can get in that later.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about these looks here because I mean it was basically like half the episode, but even in the darkest times, as we've learned here, right, there is a ray of hope. Apparently, that's Bob the drag queen on a bicycle, which I didn't realize, but it maybe possibly it could be these queens too. I'm willing to give them a chance, right?
As long as you're not giving it to Kimchi, because she wasn't even on that bike doing nothing.
I mean, I will say Kimchi looks good though. I'm like, I could definitely tell she's putting in some work. So
Yeah,
I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her.
her and
Pick up
Raja
on that if
just
I can do it.
Her and Raja just left Bob to do it all.
I mean, I love the cameos, so I love when they flash back to some fun queens. So hopefully we'll get some more fun times in everything here. It was also kind of fun too where they had like a different opening. I was kind of hoping for maybe like a different, like I was expecting like when they were doing like the whole light thing, and maybe it was going to be like a spotlight kind of thing, and it was going to be some sort of like maybe Hollywood type thing, but they shine the spotlight on you like the old Hollywood days kind of thing. I was okay with how they went with the direction for, I guess, the opening. It was kind of nice to have, I guess, somewhat of a different aesthetic when it comes to them walking in, but it ultimately was kind of dumb.
No, I didn't like the lights like that. I was like, just give me the normal lights. I just wanted the normal lights because they didn't end up really doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things that feel like they kind of just came and went with this premiere. But, one thing that didn't come and go right away was their entrance looks here, because they did have to stay in them for a hot minute, right? Jack, who stood out for you as far as the entrance goes?
All right. Vita Von Teese star. Gorgeous, amazing. She comes in, commands a presence. I was here for it. Sierra Mist came in with such a different aesthetic of the drag that I feel like we haven't seen in a little while, so I was like, okay, this is here. I liked Athena's, it was very clean, it was very pageant, it was very, like, this is who I am. I think Discord did a great job marking herself as, like, one of the creator queens, and I was a sucker for both Mia and Briar's looks, but that being said, I understand that those aren't like the strongest of looks here, and there were some really rough looks here. And I think specifically, I'm looking at people like Mickey, who had just like a basic ass dress on that didn't even look good.
Mikey.
Whatever. I want her gone. So Mikey can go. Mandy Mango, I felt so bad for her. Her makeup was bad. Her outfit was bad. I was like, she was trying so hard too. She's like, girl, I help the community and I work as a nurse. And I was like, love you for that, sweetie. Now, hopefully, someone helps you with that makeup here and we learn how to make an outfit. And then
Yeah.
I, I gotta tell you, I loved Darlene doing something different and trying to really present herself as who she is. And she did a great job with that. It was just so ugly, like, just so ugly because it was like you had this perfect color combination. Like, green and yellow can easily work together, but it was just like they say that you need to really have an eye for editing when it comes to fashion or whatever. Darlene just threw everything on there that she could find. She says, "Yep, corns, go. The sash, go. Little bows that are that color, sure. Crochet them, sure. Just go on there." I was like, it was like watching someone just throw everything they had from their suitcase that wouldn't fit in there onto an outfit and said, "This is it." So I
Yeah. It was a
pray that
little
that's
awkward.
different. Yeah.
I think I was somewhere. I think initially, like Athena was my favorite, but I also kind of felt like it was a little basic to,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, I get
thinking
that.
back again, I think Discord is probably my favorite, just because it was very unexpected. I kind of really liked the hair, the spotted leopard print too was really cool. Like it was just an aesthetic I didn't expect to get from her. I guess like I didn't think she would kind of go in that direction. I felt like it would be a little bit more, way more punk. So it's kind of nice to see that she could throw in a little more glamour too. So I'm kind of, and she intrigued me. I'd say about everybody here. So, um, we also had a lot of intriguing kind of setup here with these queens initially in the first few minutes here. And a lot of this we did kind of get in the Meet the Queens, but it's kind of nice kind of, or not the Meet the Queens, the preview, the season preview, the 10-minute preview that they gave. But it was kind of nice to get a little bit more from it too. So I felt like there was a few story beats I kind of wanted to just touch on really quickly here. And that's basically just like, it feels like the twist is there is no twist other than the fact that like half of these people are in the house of Dion, right? Because we got Athena
Yeah.
coming in as our first queen, who's basically, she feels like she's our narrator at this point. Then we get her sister, Maya Star, and then we get, or sorry, Mia Star, and then we get her granddaughter, Juicy Love Dion, in here as well too. So it feels like this season could be all about the Dions. So I feel like all three of these queens are going to be someone to watch, right?
Maybe. Maybe. I
Or
wouldn't go that far.
at least one, two of them, I would say.
Two of them.
Mia
Two of
maybe
them.
is. I think she's going to be good in dancing challenges, but she didn't give me like the initial setup of someone who goes like super deep. But we'll see.
Oh, that's how I felt about Juicy. Juicy gave me very Kahana Matrice, like very like she's here, glad for her, not ready in my opinion, but maybe she'll come back and like really surprise us on a drag race all stars.
I could see that. The queen that they kind of set up here, and I'm just gonna put her in the El Vosk place because I'm not really sure how else to, put in this archetype. I guess the redacted needles from season 4 place where they have like one queen enter and everybody kind of like doubts her, then they go on to surprise you at the end of the episode. Spoiler alert. That was definitely Nini Coco with her rainbow look when she walked in, and everybody was kind of, oh, not everybody, but a few people were definitely like, ooh, like it was well constructed, but it was definitely
Super
not
well
one of my favorite.
constructed.
So it was kind of jarring because it was like a, a better constructed version of like Melinda Verga's entrance look.
You
But
know,
I don't know if
I
I like
agree.
the idea, it's very
I
generic.
I think the idea is great. I just think she tried to do it with like that different type of rainbow color to like make it different. And one thing I really loved about her look was that the titties were both cupped and you saw them that they were like specifically
Yes.
different. I really enjoyed that aspect, but I she fell towards the middle with me, kind of like how it was very much like Jane Don't. I was like the construction is good for the most part like here like everything looks, but I wouldn't I just am not like feeling it that much. Like I think the
Hmm.
construction's good. I think this is your drag, and that's so valid. It's just not for me. And so both of
Respectable.
them ended up in like the middle for me. But I think Nini was in that kind of situation, but she was one of the girls that said I'm a designer, and I was excited for that because I was like, all right, I love designer queens.
what also kind of stood out to me too is the fact that we called her Alicia Edwards.
Oh my god, that was so embarrassing. I was so
uh,
upset. I was like, "Oh, Roxy wasn't lying when she said RuPaul doesn't know their names on the roast, Mama. She was right." Like, how are you not going to know like the most famous, pretty much drag queen from your show? I mean, you could make
you
an
rigged
argument.
Global All Stars for her, girl. You should remember her name.
I wouldn't go that far, but I mean,
She
she just
basically did. I mean, regardless if we feel like she still deserved it at the end of the day, it was basically one of those like Ginger Man All Star 10 thing, right? Where the winner was kind of already on the wall as it is. Regardless how well they do, they're gonna get what they get when they deal with it. But thankfully, Alyssa Edwards isn't a liar. But well, that's for another podcast. But if we're talking about like controversial queens here, Briar's introduction stands out to me in a lot of ways like Plain Jane's kind of did. Maybe not so much on the same kind of level. Like Plain Jane came in and kind of like blew the script away. Briar kind of came in and I feel like just annoyed everybody. And it's like weird that our villain is somebody who is kind of like she has like I find her kind of endearing, right? But I
I
could
love
also
her.
see how she gets on people's nerves because things she's very blunt and she doesn't like sugarcoat the things that she says. So you could
Uh-huh.
definitely say that like I could see why she'd be annoying to deal with. But
She's
I'm living for
oh,
her.
she's a queen after my own heart. Like, I love when a girl tells you exactly how they feel and there's no like sugarcoating. I'm a big fan of that. I know that people are like, well, that's not professional, blah, blah, blah. Girl, I don't care about the professionality. I want a girl to be real with me. If I wanted a girl to butter up my ass and then like serve it to me on a platter, I'd ask for that. But no, I don't want that. I was really a fan of Briar just being like, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. And I was like, thank you, because it's very transparent and that matters to me.
It's giving me Joella energy from last year. Maybe not as
Okay, that's
delusional,
disrespectful.
more grounded Joella, right? If
Yep.
Joella was able to like if Joella put up the same energy that she was giving out the critiques with, that's kind of what she would give. But reason why I wanted to bring up these queens is because there's a lot of things that we're obviously going to have to be shown when it comes to things in the edit, right? Like we're gonna have to see
Mhm.
why the two bottom queens ended up being in the bottom. We're gonna have to see why the winner ended up winning. But it's these I don't want to say filler moments because they're not really filler. They're the story beats that we're actually getting. So it's important I think to recognize these things because a lot of times you could really figure out who's probably going to be an end gamer just based off of what kind of content they're getting. And there's going to be a queen, maybe one or two that we get content from that goes out early. Mandy Mango, sorry, but I do think that it's kind of I have my eyes on these queens in a lot of ways because like Vita, who was also in the top two this episode, spoiler alert, we didn't hear nothing from her this episode. So it feels very weird that you have us kind of get emotionally attached by giving some queens some story, and then you kind of hold back on other queens, giving them their flowers in the same kind of vein. So those are why these people kind of stood out to me a little bit. I also kind of feel like maybe Jane don't got like way more of a story than Vita did too. So that's why I was a little worried. Like I'm a little worried for Vita overall, but I loved her this episode. But that brings us to the mini challenge here, Jack. And I don't really know if we really need to talk much about this. This could have honestly just been a memo.
It was a memo for me too. I was like, okay, I love taking pictures. I think it's great. I just don't know what we're doing. Like, I understand the concept of getting the Scream Queen kind of thing going with all the men, but it wasn't for me. I was like, I don't need to see all this.
I was getting abracadabra music video without like the purpose of why this is happening because it's like we go from like the lights being turned on in the workroom because Bob the drag queen is on a bike to them screaming in front of a bunch of masked men. I don't know. I didn't get the references. Maybe it made sense to some people. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but I wanted to mention it so we could move on from it because that brings us to our Maxi-Challenge, and that was basically the whole episode here. And again, nice change of pace that we get a design challenge right from the start versus the talent show. Even though
Yep.
some girls probably could have used the talent show. But yeah, you obviously you like this idea, right, Jack?
Yeah, I think talent shows are so like worn out. Like, yeah, you could do a talent show. Yeah, you could see what girls are doing, right? Like, we could do all that. Sure, fine, whatever. But I feel like we get so lost in the idea of a talent show. And with a design challenge, we actually get to see girls do something that's not pre-recorded. That's not pre-planned out per se. Like, this is a really great moment for to see a girl. How are you going to deal under pressure? And I think I know that that someone's going to fight me on this, but I think it's like a fair kind of start to a season because if you don't know how to present your drag, that's kind of concerning to me. As like if I'm looking for the next drag superstar, I'm not saying you have to be a seamstress. I'm just saying you have to make something work. And I'm always so excited to see like what will the girls bring out? What will they show of us? Like maybe they'll find something in themselves they didn't know they had. Like something about the design challenges always gets me excited.
And I do agree. I do kind of wish though we maybe saw something better from it. And I don't know if it's the materials. I'm just gonna say it was the materials based off of what we ended up getting here. But I mean a lot of these girls were definitely struggling here. And we kind of get into specific struggles and when we actually talk about the the looks here because I mean there's some clear story beats for the girls in the bottom of this episode. But one thing I really want to talk about here which is like the main point of I would yeah the main drama I would feel of this episode, and that was that Athena and Briar blush. What do we even want to call this? Glovegate? Do we have a name for this at this point? Because like we didn't actually see it go down. We just saw the aftermath, and I it took me a couple times to like go back and kind of actually figure out like what was going on here because it was definitely a lot of like he said she said business. I think what I'm getting from this though, right, is that they were having their moment off screen, right? They were supposedly like either like helping each other or discussing things or at least working close to each other, right? And according to Briar, from her point of view, she thought that they were sharing and helping each other, right? And she's taking her materials, and apparently this comes down to a point for Briar that she says that she doesn't have the capacity to sew a pair of gloves for Athena. And that's where Athena apparently turns on her and calls her a scammer. Whereas from Athena's point of view, Athena's like, well, girl, I was just asking for your advice and you were taking my materials. So, um, those are two different things. And then from her point of view, also, it seems like Briar maybe came up with this idea to say that she was going to give her gloves and then maybe got the materials that she wanted from her and then, didn't give her the gloves. So that threw Athena
Hmm.
off. I'm curious, what was your point of view of this whole situation? 'Cause I know you're good with drama, Jack. Did I break that down right? Does that sound about right?
A little bit. I kind of got the idea that she swapped the fabric for the guarantee of the gloves, and that's what Athena was getting at, and that's not how Briar said that she felt about it. So I was just like, it's hard to know when it's off the screen though, because it's not as simple as a girl stealing another girl's specific like items. For example, the trim last year, like those were just completely stolen after someone had already said, "Hey, I'm using these," and the girl had asked, and then she still stole it, right?
Hmm.
That was simple and should have been like well known and easy. That being said, I think the the drama here was like this started this kind of little bit. I think maybe Briar and Athena also got off on the wrong foot when they first entered the room,
Oh, for
and
sure.
so I feel like it's just this constant like little bit of building up and building up and building up to more and more and more because there's just constantly them butting heads the whole episode. And the funniest part to me is that it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Right,
Like
because
none of
they're
it
both
matters.
super safe. Well, I mean,
Well, don't say
in
that
any other,
now.
I would say in any other season, they might be in the bottom, but with
Yeah.
this group, they're safe.
This group they're safe, thankfully for them. Uh I mean kind of barely, but like there was quite a few looks that were like Ugh. So I mean, they got safe. They really got safe easy. I think what happened for both of them was like, was the construction good enough? Because I think that's where we kind of there's something to be said about the design challenges. If the construction is good enough, can it save you from being in the bottom, even if it's awful? And I think
Mhm.
that's kind of part of the fun of the design challenge is there are different ways to approach and look at it. And so maybe they butted heads on like how they saw their outfits.
Well, Lord knows we saw those outfits, and I mean, I don't know if I ever want to look at them again, but we'll just go ahead and head to the runway at this point because I mean, there's not really much else to talk about but these looks, right? And do you want to talk about some safe queens that you think should have been the bottom, or what? Because I kind of felt like for me, most of the judging was fair for the most part because we do ultimately, I mean, spoiler alert, we do get Jane Don't, Nini Coco, and Vita Von T Star as our tops. Juicy Love Dion, Kenya Pleaser, and Mandy Mago are our bottoms for the week. And outside of maybe one person I could have seen putting them in the bottom, which ultimately didn't really matter because, I mean, spoiler alert again, no elimination this episode 'cause it's the first episode. Uh, but glad that they didn't do a dunk tank or a fucking
Well,
lucky cow or something stupid. Like this, if you're gonna
yeah,
do an non-elimination, just do it this way, right?
we definitely got a good version of that specifically with this. I think when I'm looking at girls who could have been in the bottom, I see so many girls that could be in the bottom, but when I think about who did I not like and could have possibly placed in the bottom other than Mandy Mango, because I think that's the queen we're kind are you if that's what you're getting at.
I
I
mean,
felt like
Mandy, I
Mandy
think was my clear bottom.
I thought
I
Mandy was my clear not was safe because I thought her outfit had more to it. Well, Kenya and Juicy were my guaranteed bottom two
I kind of
because
like
it
Juicy,
was it was a bra and a panty and it was poorly done. And the only reason that
but Cardi was right when she did the flowy thing. I was like, oh, I loved it. But then when she stopped doing the
I
flowy thing, I was like, ah. Whereas there was no part of like the other two that I was like
the flowy
featuring.
thing was fun, but that's where the outfit stopped, girl. The outfit was quite literally, and it was just scrunched up and like kind of tied together in the middle, put over a bra, and that was it. Like there was nothing else there. It wasn't like it was like made kind of thing. It really was a bra, um, strap, and then some of that fabric put on it just so it became. You can't call it a train, but I'm whatever. It's just fabric hanging off, and yeah, it was nice that it flowed, but you you saw the skirt. The skirt wasn't even a skirt, girl. The skirt was a
It
piece of
wasn't.
fabric.
I
The
just
skirt
feel
was a
like
piece of fabric,
if we're looking like
and it
visually
didn't
though,
go all the way
right?
around.
Like just I
It's
just feel
nicer
like
to look at,
it is
sure,
much
but
nicer
like
to look at than
barely.
Mandy's, and I think that's the difference is because Mandy's is very difficult to look at. Like, did she? What did she use
No,
for this fabric? Because it's like, and then like you can see like the stitching coming apart at the bottom of it. The haphazard placing of like the flowers is just awkward. There's just no real like I don't know. It doesn't that part doesn't make any sense. Like I like the bodice part like there's certain aspects of this that I like, but like as a whole entire thing, like what really ruins it is that skirt. Like the skirt part just it looks
I
really bad.
okay. So the skirt,
It's rough. It's rough.
the skirt and stuff is rough, but here's what I want to say about this. With Mandy, the issue really comes to the details. She uses a people are saying burlap. I don't think it's that. I'm pretty sure it's wicker. But so what
Okay, I see
happens
Wicker.
with this material, like it's hard to cut the edges without it getting like messed up at all because once you start moving in wicker and it's not tied off at the end, it starts to become very frayed. Like this is what it kind of looks like on her neck piece and at the bottom of the skirt. And I think she deserved to be safe for like two really big reasons. Because one, this outfit could easily be saved if we changed the positioning of the flowers, in my opinion. And two, she made an outfit. And I can't say that about every girl on this stage. And I think the fact that there's a clear concept here and she attempted something. I was fine with this because she has a very different shape in this silhouette. Her bodice up looks good, and I would say honestly, the bodice up looked better than a lot of the other girls, even if her outfit overall was kind of crunchy. Yes, there was poorly placed stuff, but I see a lot more effort in this than I see in a lot of these other girls. And some of the people that I do feel need to be called out for it that were very
Call them out.
lucky,
Say their names.
I will be saying all of their names. First one is Didi Fuego. I think we can all agree that Didi Fuego had what looked like aluminum foil wrapped around a kind of shitty corset that was ugly. And I was really like, Jesus, like, I can't believe we're putting her in the oven in this, like, she really looked like she'd just come out of the aluminum foil. And I
She
was
was
like,
really trying to pay a remembrance
that.
to Jiggly, is what
It
I'm
was,
getting here. Like she's paying tribute to Jiggly here. That's all I could get.
no, she
No,
was
it's
not.
it's
She
bad.
was
It is
bad.
bad. I could see this being in the bottom for sure, but I feel like there's something about like she looks very pretty. I think she looks beat. I think she looks good for that part, and I think her leg, like her body and everything, looks good, right? Like the idea of the tinfoil being the dress part, it doesn't look terrible. I like the idea and the drama of it, so I get why she might be saved. But yeah, I would. This is definitely like if there's somebody else. If we had a bottom four, I think Dee Dee would be there.
Yeah. I think what also upsets me is I don't feel like there was much transformation of the material. To me it looks like, and
Okay.
I think this might have actually been reflectors. So that's where it's like it was transformed, but to me it just looks like it was folded and made into certain sections, like especially like the shoulder places. It kind of just looks like we folded over the top and maybe pinned it in there, or maybe there's a stitch in there. I'm not saying that she didn't try. That's not. I'm gonna say that she did try or whatever, but the corset thing was ugly, and with this it made no sense. But honestly, if you want to transform this material into a way that doesn't look so wrinkly everywhere, or you can use the wrinkles to your own benefit, is why not try to put together like almost a bodysuit out of it, and like using different pieces so it kind of looks like you fragmented them,
Hmm.
to make your body kind of look like it's covered in that kind of crystally look. I think it would have been much better than this. And I know that's a lot more time consuming, but this is literally looks like it was pinned together on the one side, and then another section was just placed on the other shoulder just to be put there. So
Yeah, I
essentially,
can't
it's a piece
argue
of
against
fabric.
that. Like,
Now, that being said, she's not the only girl. She's not the only girl that needs to be called out. And two people, now this one is going to be crazy. I know some girls are going to be hating on me because I think this outfit looks pretty good for the most part. Mikey. Now, Mikey looks like she took a piece of fabric and put it together over her neck and called it a cape. And then she looks like she took the other part of the fabric and probably tied it together behind her and put those little roses on the front of it and said, "It's good." The one thing I will give her credit for is it looks like she put a lot of detail into lining up the bra area, or I don't know how much there is of that blue fabric right there. It's it's like the bra is there and she uses the tassels from the other part to really distinguish part of it. And so it looks presentable, but when you actually look at what you're looking at, it's like how much effort was really put in here? Because it gives me like 2 hours at most, and that's like nice because I don't know what the full elements of this were necessarily. Because to me, it kind of looks like a rug or something that was nice, or some towels just thrown in and thrown together. And I was like, see, this upsets me. And finally, I have to
wait,
say it.
is it even finished on the bottom? Because it
No,
doesn't look
no,
like
it's
it's
not.
finished on the bottom
No,
at all. That's
it
the
is
biggest
not.
part of it, and the reason why I was kind of like considering I would put her in the bottom. But there is something nice about the patterns that she did choose. So I will,
Yes,
I,
yes,
and the
that's
pairing with the shoes too. I think it kind of gives a little like Greek goddess
She's
not
looks
Greek
cheap.
goddess, but like, but still, it looks okay with the outfit with what she's going for. Because I mean,
Yeah,
the
no,
whole
it
outfit is cheap,
presents.
so then it works with the shoes.
Well, no, it presents very well, but when you look at it the design wise, you're like, what did you do? And so that's where I'm kind of iffy on that.
Okay,
Um,
understandable.
she wouldn't even have been the next one though. It would have been Dee Dee. And before Mikey, actually, there's another girl I want to mention, and it's it's gotta be Darlene. And Darlene committed some sins here that I need to talk about. Why do
The
you have a bag?
panties.
The panties is the biggest sin ever. Yes. Why did you make a bag when you don't have anything for your legs? Then I understand she was trying to keep this together. She wears a white hump kind of stiletto thing, and it's ugly as hell. But then she puts the same fabric that she used on her outfit, if you want to call it that, around as like little bows, because she has one pink bow in the center of this, what looks like it's like the Care Bears. You know how the Care Bears have that one that's like kind of rainbowy, but it's very light colored. What's pastel? It looks like pastel Care Bears were taken apart and just placed on her, and she has this ugly like pink underneath thing that is like essentially placed on top of, and that one pink bow in the middle, which is made of the same-ish material as the Care Bears, is just there to cover up like the messiness. So she just essentially took pieces of this fabric, put them into bows, put them on top of the ankle strap. She took pieces of this fabric, just pretty much put a hole on each end, and said these are arm warmers, and then placed the section that she had cut out from all the stuff on top of this ugly pink frilly disgusting thing. And then she said, you know what, instead of making pants, I'm gonna make a purse. That really upsets me. Like, I'm not
I'm
saying you had to
fine
make
if she would
pants,
have
but
used the like if she that she made the purse, right? But why did she make the arm warmers when she didn't even have the outfit long enough to cover her crotch?
that's what I'm saying. There, and honestly, I would have preferred if at least it had been just this ugly like this, but she had lowered the pink stuff down to cover the crotch. Because at
Yes,
least
I
if
would
she had
agree.
covered the crotch, I could excuse the fact that it's just plain ugly and be like, at least she made an outfit. But this an outfit does not make, and I really get. I do commend that. I can see that there's. It looks like some sewing has been done. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just hot glue, but it does look like there's been sewing done. But it's really bad, and I think it really got a pass just because the other girls. And I think when I compare it to like Manny Mango, I'm like, I think Manny Mango did so much better than a lot of these other girls did in this kind of design challenge because I saw a concept. I don't see a concept for a lot of these other girls.
I get that. I just feel like Mandy's is just very rough to look at. Like I get the effort she put into it. It's just not. It's just weird that I guess maybe sad that some of these girls could like Darlene not make pants and still look in the photos look more presentable than I guess for me than Mandy did. So it's not saying Mandy didn't do a good job per se. Like I just feel like maybe she should have chosen a different material, and that might
Hmm.
have changed a lot up for her. But I also don't know if Mandy's somebody they have on the cards to go very far. Like she's the person that I'm looking at right now as the clear first elimination at this point because outside of this point, like she's kind of given her whole story, right? Like I mean, at least on face value, if we're going just based on the fact of what she does for a living, and she's a nurse. And it's like, okay, what else is there to give? I could see her being our first boot.
I could see Mandy being our first boot, but I'm thinking she might be our second boot. I think she could be the girl, like, I could honestly see her, like, being the hiding closet that, like, randomly surprises us. I could see her being the forgettable girl. You know, there's just so many ways this kind of archetype of a character goes, I think, in this kind of show. But one thing is clear, she's not winning the crown. And
Ooh,
I
I'm
love that
curious
she's
now.
giving
Who's
it.
your first boot choice then?
Honestly, this is difficult, but I'm probably gonna say Mikey just because I'm not really feeling
Ooh,
her too much. But like,
I
if
think that's a
I'm going,
personal choice. I don't think Mikey's
yeah, it
going
is.
anywhere.
It is.
Like
It
if
is
I'm
my
going by the
personal
edit,
choice.
Mikey didn't give me like first
No,
boot energy.
if I'm going by the edit, I think it might be I think it could be someone like what's it could be someone like Mandy, or it could be like Juicy loses like she's up against her grandmother next week, kind of thing, as like a, oh my god, Athena hits the bottom, kind of like a Coco Montrese hits the bottom early and no one saw it coming.
Well, you also
Something like
said Anya Nerve was going to be the first boot last season, and
I
I
did.
didn't see the energy. I didn't see that, but like, I mean, I could have seen it. I guess based off the first episode, right? Because she didn't do anything, or she didn't do anything until episode 2. So like,
Hmm.
I could have seen it, but like, eh. I mean, this is a little different of a premiere because we're getting it spread out over
Well,
only one episode versus 2.
and mind you, with Anya, I think I said it based on her promo specifically, and I
Yeah, her
just
promo
was
was not good compared to like what we got from her on the season. I was not expecting that. I don't
right,
think we've ever had
right.
someone that's been that different with like promo to like how they've done on the show.
Well, and
Um,
so that's why I was like, I don't know. See, with my thing is like, obviously, I'm not feeling Mikey that much. I haven't seen anything of her drag that makes me inspired. It makes me actually uninspired, and it makes me want to go burn it. But like, I
didn't you
can
like
say
her
that about
promo?
like,
You liked her tamale promo, right?
yeah, that was the problem though. Her personality sucked, and that was the only thing that I liked about her
Oh,
was her. Yeah, yeah. I was like, her promo look is so good. Her personality is such shit, in my opinion. She wasn't someone I ever vibed with, and I'm still not getting that from her. So I'm being especially hard on her guests because that's my opinion. But also, I don't see Juicy going very far. I think she has early out energy going for me.
see, I could
Sierra
see
looks like a
Juicy
girl
being
to go
like
home.
our lip sync assassin in a lot of ways. I could see maybe in like an early
Oh,
lip sync assassin, but I could see her. I could see her lasting for at least a little bit. I give her at least till top 8.
I am going to say that Juicy's leaving within the first 4 episodes. Um, I kind of see some other girls might get thrown to the side. Like, I could see Sierra Mist randomly just getting kicked out, even though she's like, I think she has generally decent drag. But I mean,
She didn't pop the same way I was expecting her to either, so I could agree with that. Sierra Mist isn't giving
the
me. She's giving me mid boot at this point.
well, Sierra Mist's outfit on the runway was very much giving me like Nightcrawler or X-Men character that's just kind of there. That's why I kind of felt like her look saved her, I guess, if you want to say it like that. I was uninspired by this. I felt like it was like, oh, I'll make myself blue so the leggings work, and yellow, blue, and black should work together. And I was like, somehow they didn't, and you wore silver on it, and then did a silver boot with the things, and I was like, I hate this, mama. It was memorable because the Nightcrawler look to me. She did fringe on
Mm-mm.
the gloves, and I was like, this is kind of messy, and I want to edit so much, but the fact that she made an outfit definitely was enough to save her because we talked about it.
There's a concept there, so
There's a
I'm
very
actually
good
interested to see more of what she kind of brings. So she's bringing something that
right.
we don't have a lot of on the season. Like her and Discord are kind of in their own lane. I would say maybe.
A little
No, no,
bit.
I could maybe throw Jane Don't in there because I feel like she might surprise us with what she could possibly be bringing as well too. But um, I mean, Sierra
Not with
Mist feels like
fashion.
she's in her own. Discord's kind of feels like she's there, and everybody else kind of feels like they could be in another little bubble. But um, let's talk about the good though, because there was some good on this runway here.
There was a lot of good.
Let's start off with
Somewhat.
the girls that maybe. Do you think there's anybody that should have been in the top that wasn't in the top? Because I have. Well, I thought I had one until she decided that she wanted to call herself out with Cardi B and get some like attention in Untucked when she was like, "Oh, please tell me my outfit's good." And that was Discord. Like I kind of liked what she was bringing, but then that walk that she had was just. Oh my god! What was that? Has she ever walked in heels? I've never walked in heels before, but like that's what I feel like I would look like when I'm trying it for my first time.
Look, I've only walked in heels like twice before because I have really big feet. So if I wasn't a child when I was walking the heels, I would have never fit in them. Like someone find like the oversized men's shoe store for the heels or something. But she was
Clearly, they
interesting. And
exist. We have Drag Race, girl.
I know, but I was kind of expecting there to be a top four actually with her in there, so they could tell her like, "Hey, what the fuck's up with your walk?" Like it was giving very kimchi first episode of season 8, like, and then they
I
said,
feel
"I'm
like
gonna
it's
get
even
this
worse than
your
kimchi because
choice."
at least like
No, it
like
is, it is.
I was forgiving kimchi. Like I didn't feel like kimchi
Well, I'm not
didn't
forgiving
feel
kimchi for that.
it didn't feel it was as bad as people were making it seem. But also
Remotely.
I was a huge kimchi fan, so
You're a huge kimchi fan. She
I
looked
am. I'm an apologist for
terrible on that
kimchi.
walk. I think my biggest issue, honestly, with this like Discord Adams kind of thing, I think she needed the critiques from the judges, and also more importantly, I wasn't sure why she was so upset about not being in the top, not being in the top, but some certain girls being the top above her because I could see her in the top very easily. But I was thinking if anyone's spot she's going to take, and this is crazy of me to say, but she would have taken Jane Dont's spot because,
What?
yes, I will get into that when we get into it. But Jane Don't to me gives me the clear example of a girl who can definitely sew, and like we saw a lot of talent here, which is why I think she should be the top over Discord because I'm not fully sure what Discord all did, but she did pluck those feathers and she used it pretty well. But I will say her body got a little ate up. I would probably like pull it in a bit more. But that being said, her outfit is still good. It's just I think that the top two were the correct top two for me very easily.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's talk about why you didn't like Jane Don't as much. Because first, I had Jane Don't in my top two.
Okay, and I think that is so valid. I think this is one of those points where it comes down to personal taste and everything. For me, Jane Don't outfit is well constructed. I think the skirt is very, 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 very frumpy. I
Fair.
hated the trim so much, and it threw me all off because I kind of felt like it was going inwards and then it kind of went outwards, but not really. And I felt like it actually made her look kind of weird proportion wise. Like I love everything she had done with the little blazer jacket thing and the little shoulder things because that it really does hide if you have like manly shoulders. I have very manly shoulders, so like it really helps if you kind of try to hide any of those muscles or anything, right? And she made the hat with the feather and the little wallet. It's everything here was so styled up good to that. But then I saw the skirt section, and I was like, I hate this, and I hate the trim. I think I want it longer. Like, I wasn't getting that. Also, wasn't a big fan of the shoe. Did
I
not
will
like the
say,
shoe.
the more I'm looking at it, the more I still feel like this should be top two for me. But I understand what you're saying about the the skirt. There's something about it that's giving me like like when you have cupcakes and you like use the cupcake liners.
Yeah,
There's something about it
yeah.
that's giving me the cupcake liners.
It does
That's
look
what she
like
gave
used
it about.
cupcake liners. It looks like and that's the thing. Like, if it had been more like the shoulders where it was extended like that, I think that would have been really chic and fun. And maybe also something on it so it wasn't so plain, just a skirt with a terrible trim. But I think she deserves to be in the top because it's so well constructed and like all the design she did. And this is that kind of element of like a design I would not want to wear this as much as I want to wear a few of the other girls because I don't like that skirt and I think it looks very frumpy and everyone's going to call me a man in that kind of thing just because it's not going to make my legs look great. Now,
I mean,
that
fair.
being said, I definitely see why she got called out for the top three. I think she should have been in the top 3 or 4 if we include Discord, right? Like she definitely earned her spot here. But for me, she was a clear not the top two because the other two girls that were up in here, they did things differently. And I think the biggest thing that they did was really transform the materials in a way that I don't feel like um she really did. Jane didn't really transform as much, in my opinion.
See, I only have
Um,
one small critique with one of the girls I probably would have put third over it, just because I appreciate the fact that Jane tailored and just made a full complete outfit. Whereas I'm gonna just say I don't like Nini's top.
okay,
If if
that's
we're
a
if
fair
we're gonna
critique.
lock a Udia things, right, and say that we're just gluing things to materials, right?
Mm,
Then and so like yes, she did have to craft the petals in a certain way, and the petals look great. Do not get me
they look
wrong; they
amazing.
look so good. She did such a great job with this. But I'm just I there's something about the top that I'm just like you literally just wrapped a band around it and just suck some shit on your titties. And I'm just like I kind of wish there was something else there to the point where because like it does take me out of the fantasy as soon as she turns around and we see her back. So that's the one thing about that I'm just a little like, like I'm not gonna ever say that she should be in the bottom. Like those girls that were talking about her in Untucked, saying she shouldn't be in the top, are crazy. You're crazy. She
Yeah,
deserves to be in the
definitely
top.
crazy.
I
Well,
just, it's just that's the one thing that takes me out. But if I'm going with everything else, I could see why she's justified to be in the top here.
it's because she's so fashionable and she looks like the it girl, right? Like, I want to wear this. I want to be the girl that like wears that. Like, I want to be
Fair.
the girl that stands out and stuff. She took these bags, the took inspiration from what was considered like the worst golden boot kind of thing, right? And then she transformed them into something so amazing. And yes, we can go off of the fact that yes, they're like glued to something else underneath, and you can see it by the waist if you look in deep and stuff. And yes, there's the band around her, and I do wish she had maybe done more, but she did try to make it nude, and I can appreciate that it was supposed to be a nude thing, and so like understandable.
She well
But
accessorized it too. I think
she what?
she it's very well accessorized. Like I love the little silver
Yes,
accents with it. I love the shoes with it.
I would
Um,
take off the
I love the
neck.
hair. The neck's fine. Like
I don't like a wrap like that on the neck. I think I would rather her have like a piece of something on the shoulder, if anything.
okay,
I am very critical of the neck thing, but also I would maybe go with just one bracelet and maybe a ring on the other hand or something. But these are very small, minute details. The job here
right.
is to make an outfit out of unconventional materials, and that's where I think she should get major points because she transformed paper bags into petals kind of thing or like feathers that you would see off of a bird kind of like it looks so good. I know it's a very video game kind of feathery look, but it's so fun. It's so creative. It really took the design element into here because this is a good silhouette where we still are seeing a lot of the midriff and the
Hmm.
showing of skin, but there was a purpose for this. You know, her skirt isn't
Right.
the same all the way around. There is a design element of an asymmetrical on both sides. It leans further down on the left, it goes further up on the right, on the top part kind of thing, and the hair detail. It's just so put together, and I could see anyone wearing something like this, obviously edited, but
If I could be
you know,
honest, I think I'm just very triggered by like the El Vosk reference that we basically got from her this episode, where it was like, "Oh, you don't like me or know me? Well, I'm going to show you." And then this is the result we got, right? So, um, it is great. Do not get me wrong. Um, I don't think there's any like argument over who made the best outfit of the night, though, right? And
yeah,
that is
no.
Miss Vita Von T Star.
Look, I it was a very close race between her and Nini. But what it came down to here was just the cleanliness of a lot of this. I didn't get taken out of the fantasy as much. Now, I also wish she had taken that shit off of her neck personally and done a less extravagant necklace. But I'm a very big, I'm just a very big critic. Okay. Styling wise, she looks beautiful. I love that she went with the short hair. It's very Rihanna. You know, it's giving us that reference to Umbrella. Like it's giving me so much here that I love. And I also want to comment that I said the two things about the bracelets for Nini Coco, one thing that she did that was really smart, small bracelet on one side, big bracelet on the other side. It's different enough and it looks so different that it works extremely well. And it matches the trim all the way around, and she used these like little globes or something to put some accents here or there, and they might also be used to cover up like a mishap here or there, but the fact that it goes to a point on her shoulder with them, it looks like crystals, it looks like jewels, you know. Yes, we could probably be like, well, she didn't line all the umbrellas. Bitch, get out of here, she didn't have fabric. Like there's so much
Right.
good
We're not
here.
arguing about lining or
Right,
anything.
we're
Like
not
for me,
arguing
what it
about any
is
of
the
that.
construction. This
Hmm.
whole, what do you call this piece in the middle?
It's like a peplum almost. It kind
Yeah.
of. Are you talking about the part off her hip?
Yeah, that comes off her hip, but it's also part of like the bodice as well too, because it basically kind of because it's
Mhm.
basically one big piece that goes up to her shoulder, and I'm just like, I love the asymmetricalness of that art, and like, there's also some just the way that she made the fabrics as well too. There's something like like Alaska when she brought in her umbrella and tried to hypnotize people. That's kind of what this outfit's giving me. It's like it's very hypnotizing in a lot of ways. Like I feel like it's just very smartly planned out the way that she did, especially like the ruffle or the patterns on her hip that lean down into it. Like
Yeah.
it's like black and white candy cane. And I'm just like, oh, it looks so good,
Right.
so
And it
good.
was it one thing that she really talked about was she was talking to the material itself, and I'm pretty sure that the umbrellas didn't have that initial trim on them. I'm pretty sure that came from another piece of like a balloon or something that was on like a stick in the workroom, because or well the whatever the room they were in that they were going to get the materials in, because I saw a lot of stuff in there and I really wanted to analyze what like where I would go and what I would do, which is why I was kind of confused by some of the girls who didn't have the materials, because there was so much shit left in there that I would have gotten anything I could, and some of the choices that they made for things bringing. But so I'm pretty sure, because none of that trim is on the other parts of the umbrella, that this trim was done by her, kind of thing.
I'm actually very glad you brought that up because we didn't even talk about Kenya and the fact that she grabbed no material from that room. Like, how are you going to go into a design challenge and
Well,
not grab any material?
okay, so she grabbed materials. Just she grabbed a bunch
Okay,
of materials that were
fabric,
like
I
a
should say.
no.
Fabrics.
She
Why
didn't
did I
grab
grab
anything that could be
fabric?
used as a fabric. She didn't use anything that could have been used to help her. In fact, one of the biggest things that I saw, she grabbed a lot of like tinselly stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing with that?" And actually, she had a lot more of the what she made her collar out of. She had like some black ones, some pink ones, and some uh orange ones, and I thought, honestly, at that rate you might as well cut them across and turn them into strips and use them and like even glue them onto a corset and make it a striped corset kind of thing, thin lined if you wanted to, and maybe diagonal, or more vertical but barely diagonal, so that way we still have a vertical line which looks makes a body present slimmer, which is what you want in the midsection if you're trying to give us that hourglass shape. um but she came out with what she had, and she knew it wasn't good. So there's no reason for us to really like dog on her too much, I guess, because she
No,
told
but I
me,
want to talk about with Kenya. I felt like she was giving me shades of like Melody Queen in a lot of ways, where it's
oh,
like we're meant to like really sympathize with her and understand her journey. So I'm wondering if like Kenya is going to be here for a hot minute because it feels like that's the vibe I was getting from her. That she might be
well,
here for a second, but this is just a moment where she is just out of her element, unfortunately.
I think one of the big issues is like when I was looking, because they showed us like a bit of her bag actually when she was on the table and what she was doing and trying to figure out her outfit. There was just so many sloppy pieces, and actually a lot of the girls brought a lot of materials that they didn't end up using. But when we got to see her bag, there was just so many little like strands, like those little, first of all, those tinsel things I told you. There were strands of like other colorful, like very glitterily reflective materials, and I was confused. I was like, "What were you planning to like make your outfit out of, if not that?" I was like, how did you plan on using these reflective materials? In which case she basically doesn't use them at all because they're all colorful and whatnot, and that doesn't appear on her outfit. So I
I wonder
don't
if
know
she just
what she
panicked. I think she was probably just panicking. That's what
she.
it seems like.
I think what really happened was less about the panic and more about just the fact that she saw like, oh, this will make me look good. This will make me look good. This will work great on an outfit, and she kind of forgot like,
This is shiny. Let me grab it.
yes, I think it was just like, oh, you forgot that like you can't just do something like that. You actually have to figure out where we're going with that. And I think it would have been really smart for her to try to trade fabrics or anything because I'm sure a girl would have helped her out. Like, you know, I would if I had materials I knew I wasn't going to use them, I'd give it to a girl. Now it would take me a little while before I figured out what I was going to give, but you know, I would give her something because as much as I don't necessarily like the the garment that she made or whatever, she at least made something that covered her body more than other girls in the past. Lala, are you so sorry, girl?
Ooh.
And actually, I looked back on it. I looked back on it, and it was actually Maya who has a who uses the reflector material. It was not Didi Fuego, so just I did notice that when I went back. But I don't know. Kenya made that easy mistake that all the girls make of I see what I want to see. I have this idea, but you don't start with the base. You know, Suki told us this week on Canada's Drag Race, it's better to have a good base and like a pretty good outfit on top of it than have like a shitty ass base and trying to mishmash everything on top of that and then make it look really sloppy. And
Well,
she didn't have a base.
lucky for her though. It was a learning moment because she ain't going home. So we do learn that it's a top two this week, which I mean I think we were all kind of expecting anyway.
For the
Uh,
most part,
and
yeah.
again, we had Nini Coco and Vita Vonti Star, and they were lip syncing to Cardi B's "Enough" by Miami. Circle back for a second. Did you enjoy Cardi B's guest judge? I don't think she gave like the most like
No,
amazing critiques, but I thought she was fun. She was
no,
entertaining.
I don't. I really felt some negative things about her actually because and it's no like I don't like Cardi B and I have very good reasons to it, but that's not what we're
I
here
mean,
about.
I get why, but
No,
no reason. Yeah, we don't have to
there's
jump into it, but
there's
it
something
was
so
just
different, but what's really important here, what I did not like was we started the like talk with Kenya and Kenya was selling her outfit on the runway, right? Like it was messy. It was bad. She was selling her outfit on the runway because that's what you have to do, even if you make something bad. Okay, it looks bad and everything. And she said, if you know your outfit's not good, you got to glam it up here and make it look good. And I felt like what she was really trying to say was like the way that she talked to Kenya was very negative in comparison to how she talked to the other girls in the bottom. And I felt like she was saying that Kenya did not look good in her face or in her body. And I really took that such a negative way because when she gets to Juicy,
do you think it's a big girl thing?
I do think it's a big girl thing. Now, to be fair, Juicy looks amazing in the face. Yes, she was fun, but you can't tell me Juicy was selling her outfit more than Kenya was. Kenya was doing the most, and the audacity
I think
to say all
Kenya
that shit
was
about.
selling a lot more, but I will say I think Juicy's was easier to sell in those small
Yeah,
margins with the fabric. Whenever you have
well,
flowing fabric, it's always going to be easier.
and
So
Juicy is the
I
exact
do
same.
get that, but I do see your point of view that like she was very hard on Kenya versus how
Well,
she was for everybody else. And they made it felt like they made kind of a joke of it too because they would constantly whenever Cardi B would say something to like somebody else that was like maybe slightly shady or maybe like slightly nicer, they would pan back to Kenya and Kenya would feel some type of way because if they were being like harsh, they weren't being as harsh as they were to Kenya or they would she would be like, I'm just being real, like I was talking with Kenya the first time, right? Or they would get a good comment and they'd flash back to Kenya and she'd be given like a sour face or something. I'm just like, okay,
like,
well,
well, because it was like a, see, you knew the assignment on how to make yourself look good up here, and it was just like you didn't have to say it like that. Like she knew she said it like that. But some things that also kind of made me mad was so on top of the fact that Juicy is, or I'm sorry, yes, that Juicy is a skinnier queen. She's also lighter skinned than Kenya, and I feel like Kenya being a bigger girl plus darker skin plus her hair having to be literally more natural than like than maybe what they were expecting with the outfit or whatever. I just felt like there was a lot of things going on here. I was like, is this colorism? Is this kind of like some bullshit with this? Like I was very like, I'm not liking how these comments came out. But then what really sold it to me was when we got to Mandy Mango, and then the girl said that she was pretty in the face, and I was like, so you're gonna say that to Mandy Mango, but then try to clock Kenya for how she looks in the face. And I didn't feel like Kenya looked that bad in the face to be saying that. So I was like, I'm confused because I don't think Kenya looks bad in the face. But, it could be just a difference in opinion. But I didn't feel like it was just an opinion thing. I really felt like there was some malice there that didn't have to happen.
I mean, I could see that. I could very well see it. I don't follow Cardi B all that much, to be honest. So I'm like, there's a lot I don't understand. I do appreciate the fact that she did come into Untucked with her glam squad basically, and they're all trans women. And it's just like that's amazing to see. So at least she's supportive in that aspect. I feel like, but yeah,
Eh,
I could kind of understand your sentiment as well here too. But like I said, I don't know if I'm one to judge on that because I don't really follow her or honestly really even care about Cardi B. Yeah,
I'm gonna
I don't listen to her music at all, so nah.
in the nicest way, it felt very performative versus when I saw her interacting with Kenya and stuff, and I was like, I don't like how this was going on, and I feel like Kenya is she's the bigger girl, so already people are gonna think poorly of her if she comes out with a bad outfit. But Juicy slept on literally like a piece of fabric over her chest, and people were like, yes, like, and I feel like we should have critiqued her in the same way as like, girl, that's not a skirt, girl, come on, that's not you didn't. It doesn't even look like you put an effort. Like, the very least. Kenya like transformed some of the materials and tried to make things. I don't feel like Juicy did that, and so the critiques weren't fair in that kind of aspect of it. And then I never really care about the guest judges most of the time coming back there, but also she didn't really give them anything to work with. So I was kind of like, it was messy, but I'm glad it was there instead of the Untucked, so we got more drama. And that was my favorite part, is like, yes, put it in the episode so I can see the Untucked with the more drama.
It felt like I was very happy that they kind of stuck that part there, so they didn't have to ruin the Untucked part with it. But
Right.
I also don't know if Untucked was as dramatic as I wanted it to be. There were some good moments here and there. I feel like what this Untucked gave me though is that this is going to be very shady cast once things get moving forward.
Um, People have a lot of opinions, and people have very big heads about things, but some of the girls are just saying things to tear others down, and some of them are saying things because they genuinely feel that way. And it's really interesting to see such a dynamic and this early on. But when we saw the lip sync, it happened, and and they go
It's not
back.
going to be a Cardi B song you go back to all the time because this lip sync
Never.
was a
I
lip
don't
sync.
listen to Cardi B. So no, but
Yeah, I won't go back to this lip sync either. Just not to cut you off or anything out here. We go back to it really
no,
quick. I just wanted
I
to mention
mean,
lip sync really quick, just because it happened.
I feel like I personally would have given the win to Vita just because she was at such a disadvantage in this outfit, and I think she did a good job. But that being said, I saw Nini. She did some really good moments. She really encapsulated the song. When she was stirring the grits in the pot and stuff like that, like I was very much like, okay, yeah, she's going in for like trying to really sell us this song. So it could have gone either way, and it was fine with me.
I feel
Uh,
like Vita lost though when she got on the ground because it felt like after that point, her outfit was just not working the same, and it
her
just
outfit would have
after
never worked
it
this
threw her
song,
off. So yeah, but I
I
don't think
didn't
she needed to. I think that might have been a little extra moment for her that when she did that
her
because then it was like she didn't even do anything when she got on the ground, and then she got back up. She did even less because it felt
Well,
like she
I
was concerned with her outfit.
now personally, I do feel like that would then encapsulate the song by doing less. But that being said, well, there's not much for me in this song personally. But I didn't really think. I actually thought getting on the ground to kind of be more sexual, to be a little hoish, is much better for this song.
It works, but not in the outfit she was wearing.
Right, but her
Given the
outfit,
fact that she knew
she
that
had
she
no
couldn't do
chance.
that.
Yeah, she had
Yeah,
no chance
I don't
in
think she
this.
had any chance either, but like it's still like that's even just guaranteeing that I think you're gonna lose at that point. Because what happened? She got on the ground, and then we flashed to RuPaul, and Ru was giving that look, and was like, "Oh, well, guess Vita's not winning this." But
I mean,
um,
I
Nini
like the
Coco,
concept.
she apparently is the Elvosk of. I wonder if they got
No,
if
that's
they
so
were
rude.
inspired. Were they inspired by Elvosk to give us this
No,
kind of
you're being
beginning? Because
so
that's
rude
what this
because Nini
is.
Coco
No,
actually won
Nini
the
Coco
challenge.
no. I'm traumatized by UK7. I'm
You can be
sorry.
traumatized, but
They
you
give us a
doing
similar
everything.
storyline, and it's just a situation where I'm just like, do we just reuse the same things in every single season? You know, like, was it justified here? Yes, absolutely. But like, I also see a world, like I said when I was talking to you, like Nini could have been third. I could have seen Jane and Vita be lip syncing here, and I could have seen maybe Jane winning. But I'm not gonna say it's rigged because I feel like the top three is correct, and then at that point, I think it's personal choice. So I thought it was a good opening episode. I thought it was solid. I don't think I got everything I wanted from it
No,
at all. It was a solid B though. I think
I'm.
it was entertaining, but like I feel like we've seen better. But we also it's hard because sometimes some seasons start out just like so electric, right? And they keep that electricity all the way through, aka like Candidate 6. Sometimes it takes the girls a little bit of time to like warm up. And I feel like this season, I don't want it to go back to season 17 where it was just all about drama, right? Like, I want the talent there too. And I'm a little worried based off these design challenges that maybe we're not getting it. Maybe we're just getting another drama season. But like, I'm gonna hold out hope. Rue was saying there's like in the darkness there's a light, so we're in the dark right now with these design looks, so maybe there's a light to move forward to, and like the other aspects of the challenges, so um
Well, I think personally for me, I don't have that fear of it like it only being drama. I think there was a lot of talent last season. I think just the major production interference was a big issue, and we saw that a lot with season 7 of UK. Like it was kind of like watching production interference, the Rusical, like all last year, you know? And
oh
so
for
this
sure.
one felt a lot more. Oh, it made a lot more sense than putting someone who just put tinfoil on a piece of cardboard as our winner of a design challenge. You know, like what are we doing there? So this one really felt like this
Imagine
girl
Didi
made a
Fuego
lot.
won this challenge today.
Oh my god! Don't say it because it hurts, but it's true. Like this, I feel like one thing that really made sense here for me was the girls who use the materials the most who really made the outfits got the top two. So I was like, okay, this top
Mhm,
two makes sense. The
agreed.
like everyone saw it except for like the girls in the Untucked, which was the craziest thing to me because in the Untucked, uh, Discord is like, I'm gonna like kill myself or something if she's in the top and not the bottom. And I was like, in what world did you think of all the outfits that you had seen, by the way, that she wasn't going to be in the top?
Well, Discord has had something out for Needy since the entrance look.
You're right. She has had. I think some of it came down to her being bitter, but like I think that she's known for this. This was like what she felt very comfortable in. So to not be in the top probably shook her. But a lot of the girls were agreeing with her, and I was so confused. I was like, what are y'all thinking that like? Do y'all just not have a point of fashion view? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but like to view some of these outfits as better than is crazy. And I was like, everyone was wanted to really say their opinion on things. You know, we had another flash to the what was it? The Athena versus Blair, no Briar kind of thing, and it was like I think Briar truly meant that she was trying to help Athena or like tell her why she didn't like her outfit, and she explained like some like later she was like, oh, I'm like on her live, she's like, I really was meaning that in a genuine way. And I was like, I understand. Both y'all's outfits were meh, and you both were safe. So it was funny that this came to nothing, and then still in the Untucked, while they're both safe, the comments still come up. And I was like, oh my god. Like, and
That's when
and
you
I
know it's a
feel
true rivalry.
yeah, it kind of is, and I love that. Briar also commented. She's like, I was really trying to help them. I think I just she said I'm actually autistic, so like I think that's maybe what it was, and I didn't pick up on it. I was like genuinely just telling her that putting the green and the pink on top of each other made it look muddy, and like yes,
Yeah, it
that's
didn't seem
true.
like it was coming from like a place where she was trying to bring Athena down, but you could tell Athena just was already over her and was just not
Yeah.
listening to her anymore.
Well,
And
and
I'm
Athena
like,
got sorry, continue.
no, 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 go for it.
Okay, Athena already got some heat from not helping Juicy more, but I was like, that's really unfair. Like it's really unfair just because she's like been in the game longer that she has to help Juicy and stuff because Juicy's freaking out. Like this is an individual competition. Now I get that they're family and I get that they want to help, but I kind of go back to that. What did you actually try or do instead of just breaking down in this moment? And it's kind of like if you're not able to get over that little bit of like a breakdown in that moment to make a successful outfit, are you really ready to be America's Next Draft Superstar? I think not.
Mm,
So I think Athena was also getting because the girls were side eyeing her, and they had make remarks, and I'm sure she overheard some of that shit because she also told us, "No, I actually don't. I don't have that time for that type of shit. Like I have to make my own outfit." And good thing she did because look, she was safe and her daughter wasn't. Could you imagine if she ended up in the bottom and her daughter was
yeah.
safe?
I was gonna say like this is giving flashbacks to literally like the episode we just had on Canada's Drag Race, where it's like
This
one
whole
girl's
episode
like,
was
"You
very
owe me, do my whole outfit," and it's like, "Girl, I can't do your
uh-huh.
whole outfit for you. Like, you need to come in a little prepared." And it's like you get blamed for not doing something for somebody else entirely, and it's like I get the fact that your goal is to you do want to help. I'm sure if she had infinite amount of time, she would have sat there and she would have made Juicy's outfit. She didn't have the time. It's
Yeah,
very clear.
there's
So I'm like, I still feel like for me, Athena is my winner pick. I feel like everything is revolving around her at this moment. So it feels like she is at least my early winner pick, but I feel like that she's going to kind of get built up as a big threat regardless how she does,
mhm.
right? So it's kind of hard to say. It's only been one episode, but I still feel like she was a major character. It felt like everything was revolving around her in this season. So I'm still kind of at a point where I feel like Athena could be our winner, with Nini probably being someone who's also going to be a top, someone probably in the top four. I don't know who the other people could be at this moment. I really don't.
Honestly, I really think at this point, I think Athena's on the I see Athena as like going far. I don't know if she's going to make it all the way to the end or if she's going to cut right at the end like a Alexis Michelle kind of thing. But I kind of see Vita definitely getting into the top four only because I think she's kind of proven herself. She also is well known in the community. Like everyone knew who these two queens were. They're like, oh, I've heard their names before. I know this. I kind of think that you're right that I think we're going to see Nini go very far in this competition and probably end up in the top four. And then it really does kind of come down to like what are they going to like? Are we going to get like a Darlene gets a big standout moment from being like the small town girl that makes it really far in this competition and people like her because she's so weird and different. Are we going to see a Didi Fuego like turn around from just being like this kind of basic queen so far, and then she's gonna turn on like the chops when it comes to the acting. She's super funny or something. There's so much. Are we gonna see Briar go all the way to the end with Athena, and their rivalry goes all the way to the end to the top four, top two possibility? There's so many different ways this could shake out right now. I'm not really sure. I do fear for some girls like Sierra Mist. I do fear for Discord Adams. I don't think she's gonna make it all the way. I could see
Oh
Jane
no,
Young
Discord is
all
giving
the
me
way.
already like the girl that they're already shading, considering
Yeah.
that she was like, "Oh, I need to be in the top." Like they gave her so many moments, like her having that moment where she had to ask Cardi B how she did
Uh
instantly.
huh.
Just it regardless if it wasn't or not, it reeks of insecurity, right? It's like you don't give that to somebody that you're planning on trying to build up.
No, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I feel like she won't be able to get over this, and she's going to let the bitterness really take hold of her, and that jealousy and rage towards Nene being in the top this week might really like damper her chances
Oh
in
my
this
god, does she get into a
competition.
fight with Nene? Oh my god.
Well, she probably, I
It's not
wouldn't
a
be
spoiler.
surprised.
She beats up Nene.
Okay, I didn't go that far. I'm not saying that much, but I just think that it's very possible that she ends up, her and Nene really butting heads a lot, and I see her going home for certain. I kind of get the Britta filter kind of feeling from her, except she doesn't do as good as Britta did. Because
Britta
Britta
didn't even
kind of,
do that well.
yeah, but Britta did a lot better than what they gave her credit for on her season. And for being a real one, like about that, like I could see Discord Adams having a very similar, like I think what fifth out or something kind of moment.
Mhm.
That's what I was kind of
Yeah,
more so
that's
getting
what
at.
I could see that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fifth or sixth out, or like an Acid Betty kind of situation where you think she's gonna go further, and then she gets cut way too early, and we're stuck with some girls who never were gonna make it anywhere anyways.
Oh my god, I
So,
have to say, Jack, though. Are you excited that we're getting girl groups next week? Because I'm so
oh
excited that we're finally getting girl groups back.
yes, I need a girl group challenge because I this is what's great about this is we go from a design challenge, something that's important about knowing how your body looks and how your drag is that. Now we go to a performance challenge, show us what you can do on the stage kind of thing. It's going to help the girls kind of size each other up for the lip sync, I'm sure Lollapalooza or whatever that's going to happen eventually. And so I think we're gonna get a very nice mix up here. It's nice when we get these different types of challenges, like performance or acting, next to the design, next to like an advertising or something. So I think next week will really kind of it's interesting. They make a performance challenge where the first girl gone is going to happen based on performances. So hopefully we don't get a Brazil moment.
I mean, I'm kind of loving it, honestly. I think it's great that we, first off, get girl groups back, because I don't understand why they decided to take it away for season 17. Like, that was stupid. So stupid. But it's just it's always a great challenge. Like you said, it's something that is a pillar of what drag queens do. So it feels like this should be really a put up or shut up moment for a lot of these girls, especially the ones that maybe didn't do as well this week that are saying that they're performance queens. Looking at you, Miss Kenya, specifically. Like
Cool.
this week is your week to shine. So as always, y'all, can't wait to see how this turns out. And hopefully y'all can't either, especially if you made it this far. Again, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and comment below with your standout moments from this season premiere. But until next time, and on behalf of my co-caster, QuackrrJack, this is Renegayde signing out. But remember, keep spilling that tea, y'all. Bye!
Bye.